Hello everyone. Today a pencil sharpener that may not replace my by now tried and true Deli 0616B sharpener, which has been my favorite and go-to sharpener for some time now. But this one also came from AliExpress. It was also cheap and took a very long time to reach me, but appears to have arrived intact. The wording on the packaging is all in a language I do not understand. I guess there's a little bit of English here. Manual pencil sharpener, fits pencil diameter 7 to 8 millimeters. Hopefully the standard pencil falls within that. I think you can find these under $10 on AliExpress. Not very helpful instructions. Well, maybe. There's something else in this box I didn't pull out. Almost looks like an Allen wrench, but maybe not. Maybe a tool for removing broken leads or some such. Not certain on that. Let's take a look. So no assembly required, which the Deli came partially disassembled. You just had to install the crank mechanism, but it wasn't too hard to figure out. The Deli, as I've pointed out before, has these scary and wood-damaging metal teeth that grip the pencil to pull it in as you crank, so you don't have to have a hand holding the pencil. This, from what I understand, has a similar mechanism, but has sort of rubber grips rather than metal teeth. Nothing is obvious there in the aperture. There's no faceplate to pull off. Tenwin and some characters there that I don't understand. So if there's a model name other than Tenwin, I don't know what it is. It's solid enough plastic. Kind of a fingerprint magnet. You can see my fingerprints all over it already. Looks like there's a little sandpapery, emery boardish insert here for freshening up your tip of your pencil as it dulls. It's a good size container for your sharpening, your shavings. I say go ahead and try this. This caught my eye because of the ridiculously long points that it is supposed to make, which are used to best effect probably on a pencil with a very thick core. But I'm just going to try just an average number 2 pencil to start off with. So I'll try this Musgrave, unnamed Musgrave bare wood number 2 pencil, which are very nice pencils. The factory sharpen here is what is on it, and you can see a little bit of unevenness or a poorly centered core. Let's just go ahead and try it out. I'm not certain I know how to do this. Okay. Kind of fits snugly in there. Something is definitely happening. Apparently you have to reverse course here, and it ejects the pencil when you reverse. Wow, okay. So Here we have an uneven core and a very long point sharpener. That looks impressive. That quite a bit less so. So I wonder in a case like that if I can sort of sand off the wood from the tip. I don't think that's what it was intended for, but on a pencil that's poorly centered, that may be your only option. I've just altered the shape of the tip, but there you go. This point may be more clear on a pencil that has a finish on it rather than a bare wood pencil, so you can get a sense of the length of that sharpen. So let's try another Chinese product. I believe that's Marie's drawing pencil with a ruler in centimeters on the side. Also available through AliExpress for next to nothing. But we have a rather thick core there and a black finish, so that will be a better test, I think, for this. I keep meaning to pull the faceplate off because that's what I'm used to. There's a little resistance when you start to put it in as it engages. There's some rubber rollers, I think, that grab it, and you can feel that as you push past that. So let's see what happens with this art pencil. Shaking everything. Okay, so no resistance. Reverse it. Oh my. Again, not perfectly centered. I'm seeing that is a fault that is accentuated by this very long point sharpener. Has a little bit of a flat tip. I didn't change any settings here. Maybe I should have tried that. Looks like you turn it. Oh, turn this, maybe? No? You turn something. Oh. Okay, so maybe that's... Wait. That's a flat point. Maybe turning all the way this way gives you the sharpest point. Try another Marie's, this time a 5B, also with a very large core, and that one also maybe slightly off center. We'll find out. Is there any difference here? Maybe it was already on the sharpest setting, but it leaves just a tiny bit of flat there at the end, which is probably good because if it came to a needle point, that would immediately snap off on any pencil. Looks like the 5B is more well-centered or just enough fatter than the 3B that it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, there is a difference in the diameter of the core there. And okay, so I just can't get over how long that point is, almost ridiculously long. Because we like to compare here, let's try this B pencil in my old standby deli sharpener. And to avoid injuring the finish, I'm going to put a post-it note around it here to try to protect it from those teeth. Don't have it lined up just right. Let's try that again. One smart commenter on my channel said, take a lot of the wood off with a handheld sharpener first, and you'll save wear and tear on the blades in this. It's a great idea, which I'm not following right at this moment, but I plan to in the future. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So I considered this a long point sharpener before, and it makes a very nice point. See the difference? It's subtle, but you can see a difference. That is a long point. Again, almost ridiculously long. But I want to see how these points will actually function in actual writing, whether they can actually withstand that. So we'll try that. Okay, but let's first use one of these pencils to measure the length of the point on another one of these pencils. So we'll maybe look to say it starts maybe halfway between the hill and the valley here. A little over, well, that's curious. Notice this starts at 1, not at 0. I just glad I noticed that. Probably makes a difference. So really it's about 3.5 centimeters from the start of the sharpen till the tip, as opposed to the, wait, which of these has a, there we go. The deli sharpener, we'll say that has a little over 2 1/8. So more than 50% longer than my quote long point sharpener. These are curious pencils here. We've got the measurement that starts at 1. I don't know if maybe 0 is the butt end. That is strange. Okay, yeah, so 0 is approximately the butt end, so that's helpful. We've got measurements on the side. We've got a name, some Chinese writing, product number, and UPC all together, and then grade here, all on one side. And these came kind of together, but they each kind of have a different design to them. If you notice. Kind of strange. The 3B and B are similar. Anyway, I'm not going to focus on these right now, but I'm just curious if this tip will actually be usable as long as that is. First of all, I notice you have to hold it back a little further than I'm used to. I'm used to kind of choking up on it a little, you know. This is a 5B, and it's really soft. Just barely putting any pressure on it, and I feel like I'm going to snap it off. It hasn't snapped, but it's like I'm being hesitant with it here. Putting a little bit of pressure on it now, and it's holding up to it, and that's a nice dark. I don't use a lot of really dark artist pencils, so I don't know if that looks like a 5B. It's really dark. It's darker than this B. Some really nice smooth graphite in these. Probably smudge like crazy. Okay, so I mean, it's an obscenely long point, but still usable. When you compare it with still my favorite sharpener. And you have to factor in that if you're using a regular number 2 pencil, you're getting a long expanse of tapered wood, and I mean, still, there's a good length of graphite there, but it's almost not worth it to sharpen a regular pencil with this, especially if the core is a little bit off-center, as this apparently was. And it didn't look that off-center, so I guess this Tenwin sharpener, I guess, would be useful as a test of whether your core is centered. But usually you can eyeball that. But you really notice it when you sharpen it with this ridiculously long point sharpener. Just to kind of wrap up here, this is still my go-to. I'm just going to fire up a couple other sharpeners here, since I have a few other of these pencils. Here's another very quality sharpener that you get free with Upsara pencils, some Upsara pencils. This is called the Upsara Longpoint, and you can buy a box of these. I don't know, 20 in a box maybe for $6 delivered. I've seen. The ones I have I got free in boxes of pencils I ordered back when. But yeah, you can buy them, and it's a cheap disposable sharpener, but it makes a pretty nice point. Let me see if I can quickly demonstrate that here. I like how they've stained the wood in such a way as to make it reminiscent of cedar. It's a fine wood, it sharpens okay, but it's not cedar, but they've stained it red to make you think cedar, I suppose. Let's just compare that with... Okay, so the Delhi sharpener is on the right. Upsara Longpoint is on the left. It surpasses the Delhi. But the Delhi, probably can't tell, but makes a slightly concave tip, and the Upsara is just a straight line, just barely concave, which I think is beautiful. Not a bad sharpener for dirt cheap or free. And here's the standard Nataraj sharpener. I think it's a 621. Comes free with Nataraj pencils, also from Hindustan, the same company that makes Upsara. And you can probably buy these in bulk also. This is more of a standard point, but also a nice sharpener. Making quite a mess here. That one's having a little bit of trouble. May have something jammed in that one. Look at that point progression. Regular Nataraj on the left, and this Upsara Longpoint next to that. Delhi, third from the left, and the clownishly long new Tenwin sharpener there on the right. Clearly the longest point sharpener I have, and useful, I suppose, for art pencils. I would say a very limited usefulness for a writing pencil, unless it's perfectly centered. Yeah, don't know that I'd bother. Neat to have. I really like this sharpener, just for the outstandingly long points, but yeah, limited usefulness. All right, so thanks for sticking with me through this long sharpener review, and that went a little off course and looking at some other sharpeners, but it gets a thumbs up from me. Just be aware it's going to be more useful for the really thick cores in an artist pencil and less so for your standard school pencil. Standard school pencils, it's hard to beat this Delhi. I would go with that. All right, well, thanks for watching. Hope to see you here again next time.